you know, diseases where if we had taken a proactive, if there was proactive, if there was, proactive ways of preventing children from dying. Because even among the children I grew up with as I was a child, they died. Anyway, in the village, the water was either from a pit or from the river. There were no taps. There was no electricity. But luckily, because my dad was in a boarding school, there was a machine, an electric a generator. And then I went to work in Zimbabwe after I finished internship. Actually, going to Zimbabwe, we had gone on holiday with one of my classmates that you might remember, Ayanda Jolobe. And we decided, we went to Zambia and then Zimbabwe, then we decided, that was after internship, and said, there's no apartheid here. And that is where I worked for 2 years. There were so many tropical illnesses. That's where I was exposed to all these tropical illnesses, preventable illnesses, the malnutrition, the stunting. That is why later when I learned that there was a course I could do on maternal child health, I happened to hear about it, that there's somewhere where I could study. And even now, that is the area where I do most of the work with creches. Early, that's what I've been supporting since I retired, early childhood development, creche, backyard owned by, they are owned by, people, mostly women, either in their garages or in a container or in a mukuku type of building. That is what we've been supporting. And these are not government owned. These are owned by female entrepreneurs. That is the area where we've had the most effect of making sure that the children are in a safe, secure environment, and we can stimulate their cognitive development, make sure that they qualify to a stage where the little creche is supported by the Department of, they get a stipend from the Department of Social Development.
Yes.
And that is the area where I've done most of the work with children. And of course, women being the primary caregivers. As reproductive health, when I worked at the reproductive health research, then it was called Reproductive Health Research Center, which is under Wits University in the early 90s when HIV, there was a lot, there's still now, it's a very, it's an area where they do a lot of research. And that is where I worked in reproductive health. I was the deputy director of the Reproductive Research Center at Wits University.
And it all stems from your interest, or rather your interest stems from what you observed growing up, that had there been more proactive approaches to maternal and child care.
That's why I did a master's in public health. And that is why, and it's mostly maternal child health and aging. And just being exposed to that, I learned so much, so much.